Clerk, call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation this morning will be delivered by Tom Spencer. Thank you very much for coming out this morning. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we bow before you, acknowledging that you are sovereign and never run for re-election. We praise you because you are all power and all love. We praise you because your ways are higher than our ways. We praise you for your mercy and kindness. I thank you for every good gift that you have brought to our lives, and I thank you in advance for all that you're going to do through us. We are thankful for this community and the mission to serve. We are thankful for co-workers and associates. We ask that you provide wisdom for elected officials and supervisors. We ask that you continue to show favor on this county. I ask that you put a hedge of protection for all those who answer the call and run toward trouble instead of running away. Help us to sow seeds of faith. Help us to make changes in this community that benefit your people and purpose, and that we be diligent in our effort to do your will. Help us to see the need to take advantage of every day and enjoy the opportunity to serve our fellow man. Thank you for reserving a place in heaven for each person who calls you Lord. For it's in Jesus' holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thanks, Tom.
Members of the Court, we have one agenda announcement. It's under the administrator section. It's item 9A2. This concerns a purpose of a finding of a public purpose. There's a revised court communication in your red folder this morning. Also, to remind the court, even though you probably don't need to be reminded, that today is, besides Employee Recognition Day here, we're going to have Employee Appreciation Day out on the front lawn of the administration building. We'll try to get the court out there by about 11:30. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of April the 29th.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We have several proclamations and congratulatory resolutions today. Commissioner Brooks, I believe you have the first one up.
Yes, Your Honor. It is for the AIDS Outreach Center and celebrates the progress made to date in addressing the pandemic of HIV and AIDS, and recognizes the fact that there is much more work to be done. Would you please read it into the record?
Yeah. Whereas the Center for Disease Control estimates that some 1.2 million people in the United States, more than 62,500 Texas residents, and 4,500 of our neighbors here in Tarrant County are living with HIV/AIDS, and whereas the estimated incidence of HIV in the United States has remained stable at 50,000 new HIV infections per year, and statistics show there has been an increase here in Tarrant County, and whereas AIDS Outreach Center, Inc. is the only 501c3 nonprofit organization in Fort Worth serving Tarrant County and 7 surrounding rural counties with essential HIV prevention, education, and outreach services, offering comprehensive client services to men, women, children, and their families, and advocating for sound HIV public policy. And whereas AIDS Outreach Center celebrates its successes and supporters each May through its annual Gala Evening of Hope, which this year is set for May 31st, now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim May 2014 as a month of hope in Tarrant County and encourage all Tarrant County citizens to recognize HIV/AIDS as both a community and global challenge. And further, we do hereby recognize AIDS Outreach Center for their efforts to care for those who have HIV/AIDS and to educate and promote understanding in our communities concerning HIV/AIDS. In witness whereof, we have herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 6th day of May 2014.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
I would ask that Mary Rusnick, Director of Development and Marketing for the AIDS Outreach Center, join me at the podium.
Thank you, Commissioner Brooks. Thank you, Judge, fellow commissioners. We appreciate it very much. Yes, the increase of HIV is prevalent in our community. It is a war that AIDS Outreach Center is fighting through policy and prevention efforts. Apathy and ignorance are the issues that we fight. And you all have done so much today to help us fight the ignorance in our community. We appreciate the proclamation so very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
I better plug myself in there before I shut down. Commissioner Fickus, looks like you have a few.
I do, and what I would like to do, most of these have been presented, and this is briefly go through them. We did a congratulations resolution to Delroy Stewart, council member of the city of Grapevine. Roy served almost 20 years in his capacity as a council member. Prior to that, he served 9 years on the Grapevine-Colleyville School Board, very involved citizen. Our second one was to Leon Hogg. Leon served as 18 years on the city council for the city of Euless. Has been such a great community asset, and he is also not running for re-election. And the third is to Mary Liv Sala, the mayor of the city of Euless. Mayor Sala has served since 1989, term and a half as council member, and since 1993 as their mayor. And so with 21 years as mayor, she has honestly have been the keystone to that city's success the last 2-3 decades almost, and is a wonderful person. The last one is a congratulations resolution to the Westlake Historical Marker Dedication Day at Cross Timbers, and I would move approval for 6, B, C, D, and E.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. I want to keep hitting the gavel. I'm going to have to get that thing out of the way here. Next is our first Tuesday, and so we get the opportunity to not only recognize our employees here, but today this is our opportunity to go outside and to have the employee appreciation event outside that was begun by Commissioner Johnson and I guess Tim Curry. I believe you and he started this out.
I did it, I think, a couple of years, and then got him to help me. And then the credit union stepped in, and thank God they're footing the bill for it now.
So let me begin by, I will call your name, and please stand and remain standing through your particular group, and then we will recognize you at the end. I didn't really have a chance to go over most of these names, and so I may butcher them a little bit more than what I usually do. So just, again, if it's alphabetically and you know you're next, stand up. Or if it sounds like your name and you think you're next, stand up. We're going to begin with our 5-year employees. First is Kathy Barnes with the Sheriff Office. John Chump, 141st District Court. I didn't think the judge would be able to make it down. LaShinda Grimm, the Sheriff's Office. Jason Jones, the Sheriff's Office. Run Par Nielsen, Public Health. How close did I come? Thank you.
Very kind of you.
Teresa Rhodes, Direct Program. Robert Roberson, Sheriff's Office. Joshua Salazar, Sheriff's Office. Jorge Sanchez, Facilities Management. Paul Warlow, Sheriff's Office. These are our 5-year employees. Let's give them a hand. Y'all can be seated. Our 10-year employees, Talton Campbell, Sheriff's Office. Kimberly Davis, the Sheriff's Office. Sherry Debo, Domestic Relations Office. Janette Hamilton, Probate Court Number 1. Clement Lascelle, Sheriff's Office. That's one of those if it sounds like it. Susan Lenham, District Attorney's Office. Frank Minikin, Juvenile Services. Mary Overedo, Cooperative Extension. Jason Sloanacre, Elections Office. Charlie Smith, Precinct 3. I think I got that one right. Good to see you, Charlie.
He's hard to see.
Tony Waters of the Sheriff's Office. And Gary Waters, the Sheriff's Office. And these are our 10-year employees. Let's give them a hand. Now for our 15 years, Christopher Bell, Juvenile Services. Sylvia Demas, Public Health. Joy Hall, Juvenile Services. Sheila Johnson, Precinct 1. Alyssa Lacey, Juvenile Services. Shannon McFarland, the Sheriff's Office. Bobby Mills, District Attorney's Office. And Jay Singleton, the Administrator's Office. Now for our 20-year employees. Don't look so happy, Jay. It'll be all right. Dennis Bowden, the Sheriff's Office. Harold Doan, Information Technology. Sarah Haddock, Public Health. Judge Steve King, Probate Court Number 1. Judge, appreciate you being here. Joanne Martin, Juvenile Services. James Moody, the District Attorney's Office. Marlia Tonsanette, Tax, okay. I know you. Marla, go ahead and tell me how I should have pronounced that last name. Yeah, that was good. It sounded a whole lot better coming from you than it did coming from me. David Van Hook, Juvenile Services. Matthew Walker, Sheriff's Office. Let's give these 20-year employees. And now for our 25 and plus, we have an opportunity to talk with each one of them. Our first 25-year employee is Reggie Butler with the 96th District Court. There's Reggie. Started out in County Court at Law number 2 as the court reporter and is now in the 96th District Court and has been for some time. When I asked him what he liked most, he said, you know, it's a great place to work. Had some great judges to work with. The pay and the benefits, you know, yeah, that's all right too. He said over the last 25 years there's been a lot of changes that we've seen. He said, you know, he got a new judge in the last 5 years. He'd been working with Judge Walker and now is working with Judge Wallace, and said he is enjoying Judge Wallace as much as he enjoyed Judge Walker. And he said, you know, I have very much enjoyed my time with the county. He said, I know I'm celebrating 25. He said, I hope I get to celebrate another 25. And Reggie, we do too. Thank you very much. Next is Janette Johnson, Human Resources, 25 years. Now, I know all y'all are looking at her and saying she couldn't have been here 25 years. She started 2 days after she graduated. She started off in the workforce development area and then moved to JJPA program, worked in the workforce area, moved into the housing area, and then she came back into the HR area. When I asked her about memorable moments, she said, you know, she was there when they started the one-stop centers. She said, I also remember, and, you know, I think we all that were here with the county at the time Katrina hit, remember that weekend when all those, it was Labor Day weekend. And, you know, they were arriving here on Friday, and it was kind of like, okay, we've just got to get out there and do the best we can. And we did, and, you know, everybody pitched in, and as it turned out, we ended up having to turn away a lot of volunteers because everybody with their generous hearts made it out there to help with that. And she said also, you know, I think, again, as we all that were here, remember when Gerald passed away and getting that phone call and thinking, that can't be right. That just cannot be right. When I asked her what she liked most, she said it was the different opportunities, the people that she's had a chance to work with, the various roles that she's had a chance, and then, you know, kind of as was mentioned earlier, the compassion that she has an opportunity to see in people as they've worked and as she's had a chance to work with them. She started with the county in her freshman year in college in the county clerk's office, I guess, and also worked as a counselor in the workforce program and for the summer programs. When I asked her kind of what had happened over the last 5 years, she said, you know, the thing that I guess I'm most proud of is just watching the way the Management Institute has kind of found its place within the county and some of the successes that it's had. She said, I think people are beginning to look at that, and managers are beginning to come from all over the county, and they see it as a place where they can come, they can talk about similar issues, they learn from each other, but they also grow as individuals. And I could really hear the passion in her voice as she talked about some examples of some folks who came in and, you know, they kind of set down their goals, and some of them were a little reluctant to put down some of those goals that they really needed to work on. And she said somewhere or another we managed to get them to put that down, and then by the end they're very happy that they did, and it's made a big deal in their lives. Got a daughter that's getting ready to graduate from high school. I can see the tears rolling right now. I can just and getting ready to go to college. So again, Janette, we want to thank you very, very, very much for the time that you've given to Tarrant County. Thank you. Next is Harold Porche, Information Technologies. Was he able to make it? Wasn't sure he was going to be able to. He started out as an IT operator. You know, he said his family's been doing great. Again, we talked 5 years ago. His daughter is actually an X-ray tech now in Arlington. So as you see Harold, congratulate him, too, for the 25 years that he's had with Tarrant County. Next, yeah, let's go ahead and clap. We'll clap. Now, we kind of skip from 25 and we go all the way to 35. And our first 35-year employee is Rick Barberina. Where's Rick? Wasn't sure he was going to be able to make it down. He's now working out at the Miller Complex. He's with CSCD. Started off in the probation area. He said, I've been blessed. I've had the opportunity to work with Tarrant County for 35 years. And he said it's just the greatest place in the world to have had a chance to work. Next is Fan Yu Hong. Did I just really mess it up? I doubt that, but thank you anyway. She's with the tax office, 35 years. Started in the same department that she works in right now, in delinquent tax, and she said, I just love it there. She said, I've kind of spent most of my life working for the tax department. She loves the people that she's had a chance to work with. She said, we're getting older. Everything seems to be changing, but that it's been great. She's had a great experience with the tax office. She has 2 boys who have graduated from UT, and as we can, those of us who've reached that, and for those of y'all who hadn't, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train. Her boys turned out great. UT, they've got jobs. They're off the payroll. Everything's great. Fan Yu, thank you very much for your 35 years. Now, our last 35-year employee is Jim Sinclair, also with CSCD probation. He's not able to be here. He is out of town today visiting his 92-year-old mother. But he actually started, him and Rick started the same week. He said, I started a couple of days later than Rick because he's also celebrating his 35th wedding anniversary. So he got married, went on a honeymoon, came back, started work for the county, and him and Rick were just a few days apart. So again, we've got a lot of employees to be thankful for, 645 years of service. We appreciate you very, very much. Now, here's the one question that I probably should have asked. Do we have refreshments back in? Yes. We have refreshments back in 504C. You're safe. I haven't seen Wilder, so he's here.
He's back in 504.
So he's probably back there already. And okay, I've got. This is going to be interesting. Sandra Caldwell, 25 years in the sheriff's office. Sandra? Come on forward, Sandra. I'm not going to embarrass you too much because it's not your fault that you're not here. For some reason, I didn't get your name, so I'm going to apologize because I know we talked 5 years ago. But tell me a little bit about what's occurred or what's kind of happening, and everything going well. And
going very well.
Did you start off, Cedric? You better get prepared because you're next.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Did you started off in the sheriff's office?
Don Carpenter hired me.
Is that right? So you've seen a few sheriffs over the years.
Exactly right. Yes.
Well, we appreciate very, very much the 25 years you've given to Tarrant County, and I apologize for not having called you ahead of time to congratulate you and to thank you for your years of service.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on down. You know you're next. Cedric's been with the county, again, for 25 years. I know you started off in the sheriff's office.
Yes, sir.
As I recall, did you also get to spend a little time at the FBI? Did you go to a school or?
Yes, sir. I went to FBI National Academy.
I remember that just from our conversations in the past. And talk to me about where you're at right now and what position you're in right now. And
Currently serving as a captain at the Lon Evans Maximum Security Jail.
is that new building is pretty nice over there, isn't
That
it?
new wonderful place, yes, sir.
You keep them, and from what I understand, that basically as the people act out in some of the other facilities and end up spending a little time in your facility, they go back to the other place and act a little bit nicer.
They're convinced that it's a better place to be.
There's a better place to be than under your control over there. So,
Yes, sir.
tell me what's kind of happened over the last 5 years. Anything? I mean, obviously we opened the new jail.
Well, the new jail, and I've also assumed an additional detail. I'm over our SWAT team also, and still with the hostage negotiations unit also.
We appreciate that very much. How's your family? Everything all right in the family?
Everyone is doing very well.
So we appreciate very, very much 25 years you've given to Tarrant County.
Thanks,
Thank you.
boss.
Absolutely.
With that, we have refreshments back in 504C. Thank you all very much. If we could, I'll go ahead and get a motion to receive and file our employee recognition.
Second.
A motion a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We'll just kind of remind everybody, I should have done it before everybody left, that we've got Senior Synergy this week over at Will Rogers on Thursday. Commissioner Johnson's got some folks over there. It's going to be helping with the deal. It starts at 8 o'clock, goes till I think our luncheon speaker is supposed to be through about 1:30. we've got a little over, I think we've got about 1,100 folks that have registered, which Commissioner Fickus tells me that there'll probably be a couple hundred show up without having registered.
At least.
I'd also like to take an opportunity, we've got an intern who's working in our office, Ryan Wools. Stand up, Ryan. He's going to be there, so he's helping us out. No, that's a little bit too difficult. We thought about putting him in the district clerk's office.
Hey, come on, bring it on.
Court members, you have before you our consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay.
You're going to, yeah.
Move to receive and file the personnel agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Receive and file the personnel agenda. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have one additional item, that's item 2. We're asking the court to approve a waiver of terminal benefits for the district clerk's office. As indicated in your court communique, we have a lead family law clerk who resigned at the end of April with 346 vacation hours. The district clerk is requesting a waiver of 314 of those hours effective May 7th at a net cost to the general fund of a little bit more than, or approximately $2,900 excluding fringe benefits.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Turner.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. I want to take the opportunity today to just share with you some particular work that we've been involved in over the past couple of years. The state of Texas, through the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, over the past couple of years has made money available for early prevention and intervention programs with actually a population that our department has not historically served. Several weeks ago, I brought to your attention and approval a memorandum of understanding and agreement with the Arlington ISD. Today, this is one with Fort Worth ISD, and we're actually being able to provide services for actually young people and children between the first grade to the 8th grade, and doing some what the state is asking us to do is do serious preventative work to try to keep young people, children and families out of the juvenile system. Fortunately, Tarrant County and the work that we've been able to do has been the recipient of 2 separate grants from the Texas Juvenile Justice Department to really focus energies in this area. We have put together a project with Fort Worth ISD now, and actually has been in operation for a year, and this is a renewal of our agreement with Fort Worth ISD, where we actually have a family engagement coordinator housed at the Disciplinary Alternative Education Program with Fort Worth ISD, working with 1st through 6th graders in an attempt to try to help those young people and their families connect with the school. When those young people are referred for disciplinary problems into that program, our engagement coordinator works with the young person, works as a member of an interdisciplinary team there at the school, and works with the parents to try to address whatever the behavioral issues may be. And then what the part that we're really excited about is that this individual also works with those kids and those families when they return back to their home school for up to 90 days. So that we really work to try to connect those young people back with their home school, keep them there so that, again, we do not see them entering the juvenile system because of further behavioral problems in the community. We are doing a lot of data collection on this project. The state does hope, between what we're doing both with Fort Worth ISD and Arlington ISD, to do some significant research and show that whether this model is in fact working, and if so, then continue to provide money to the local county probation departments so that we can continue to divert kids as much as we possibly can. So the board has already approved this agreement. Our juvenile board, Fort Worth ISD board, approved the agreement earlier this month, or I'm sorry, late last month, and so we wanted to bring this to your attention and ask for your approval as well.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Randy.
Good job,
Randy, would you do me a favor, whenever you find out the exact dollar amount you're going to
that grant, if you'll just let the audience.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay. We'll do that. Great. Thank you.
Mr. Beecham.
And Farmer asked me to wear this T-shirt to Commissioner Court, and
Why
I
aren't
said,
you wearing it?
it doesn't have a hog on it. But I'm proud to
But
hold
it
the
would be
T-shirt.
on a hog, so who cares?
She asked me to acknowledge the superhero employees in Tarrant County, which I personally believe there are quite a few, and remind everybody that we are serving low-bid turkey dogs and real hot dogs on the courthouse lawn this morning, or our front lawn. We have one business item for your consideration this morning.
Thank you.
to get to that real quick.
Hopefully it will go well. It is a recommendation to award a bid for number 2014-066, our annual contract for moving services. Recommendation be to award a per enterprise basis, according to the primary, secondary, and alternate vendors as shown in the court communique.
We could approve this, and then maybe we could move our purchasing.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Yay, Tarrant County. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Commissioner Brooks, I believe you have an interlocal agreement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 9K1A is an interlocal agreement between Tarrant County and Tarrant County College District to establish an innovative pilot program to do an internship program in our mechanic shop. We will take kids from TCC who are in their mechanic program and give them real-world work experience in our mechanic shop. The benefits from doing this are that it will help with the education of those young people, and it will allow us to get a first look at some perhaps potential candidates for employment with Tarrant County. I would move approval of item 9K1A.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Are there any appointments today? Being none, then we'll move on to the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the
Approval of
claims.
claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items?
Your Honor, we do not have any briefing items at this time. Before we go into close, though, is there an appointment that we're talking?
No, I think she's thinking about the MHMR.
Okay.
That's next week.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. We do not have any briefing items at this time, Your Honor.
Then we'll recess our open meeting and proceed to close to discuss items exempted under sections 551.071, 072, 074, 076, 087, and 0725 of the Texas. From our closed session, we will now address the following matters.
Members of the court, we can go to item 9C1. This is under the District Attorney's Office. We're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve and authorize the county judge to sign the farmer's release form in connection with the JB subrogation, but to disavow all indemnification language in the release.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
That's all we have at this time, Your Honor.